Candyman's put, Dale, don't mess up Cyclonus. He's been waiting for this for a long
Like,
time, you know, honestly, like, he's been eager for this. He was very, very happy when
what's
it
that?
was announced.
Cyclonus.
Yeah. So,
Cyclonus is a tough one. I hope it is a tough one because
it is.
he's he's yeah he's the first one I built of a range character because I normally like building like if there's a warrior you want me to build it because we're talking drift
Hmm.
s. But Cyclonus has got me thinking a lot.
It is hard. I mean, the
It's a
funny
tough one
story
with
was, you know, the meme of the guy smashing his keyboard. I remember
yeah
talking.
it's
They were talking about some changes or something, and I said to Fabian, "Why are you there? Just go and fix Powerglide. Just give him more damage." And I think he did something, and it honestly, like, I think he just said, "Oh right, well, rather than targeting a defense, we'll have it where you can target anywhere." I was like, "No, that's not the problem. That is not the problem at all." And he was like, "Dumb. That's it. I think I'm like,
I
no,
mean
you know." I
I
was like,
mean
ah.
my dream when I was looking at aerial, it's not like I don't want to build an aerial bot. It's just I don't think I'll be very good at building an aerial bot because I'm more smash smash.
Yeah, but you've got a play test there. Go and ask them. And
Yeah,
that's their
I know,
opinions.
but I
Plain and
think
simple. And
some of the ideas I've got in my head at the minute is I would love a one cost bot.
oh, what's of it? What?
A one cost bot.
Why
Um,
not? Why not?
I know that this is it. So something I'm thinking of, if I can pull it off, is like a one cost bot, and then every time you use the ability, he gains two bombs. By the time he gets to like 10, he's got like 20 bombs or something, which I just think is just like, sorry, this
I
is
think
just,
you're overthinking
yeah,
it
it
though.
just,
I just think having a
yeah,
cleanup
well,
bot. I think it's having a cleanup bot that's really cheap. Why
yeah,
not?
just, I would look, yeah, this is the idea for me. It's just something cheap. Just like, can we make a character in Transformers Earth Wars, which is basically 1+1? I would love to. Like,
I
that is
just think
basically, that it was just,
just just
this
something
is again,
different. Just
this
something.
is
Think
it.
outside the
This
box
is
a
it.
bit. Something different. We don't want
This is it.
another skydive. We don't want another jetfire. We've got them already. We don't need another
This is
silver
it.
ball. We've got them already. Think outside the box a bit and go, right, what is there not in the game? What have we had
This
not
is
got?
well, this is
And
it.
go
This
from
is what we
there.
kind of try and look at legacy. Is like obviously people say, well, you can't make robots, but we do try and think, well, what haven't we done before? Like for example, light speed. Okay, yeah, we've done blind before, but we haven't really put blind on a bot in the way he has. Like where he just
Mm.
runs over it and he just blinds it and he can blind bots, he can blind buildings, like full blind. We're not talking reducing the range because Metal Hawk does that. We're talking full 100% no range. Kind of not done that before. And then obviously we did Cosmos, which we have done before, but he hacked, but now he has the Ricochet, which also hacked something else, which was quite cool. So we are trying to think outside the box when we come to Legacy. So yeah, I think Cyclonus might edge to be that one cost, but using the tech of every time you use it, it gets stronger. So it is a 1+1. It starts off very cheap, but kind of think of a. Actually, now I think about it, it kind of makes more sense that the price always reflects the, the cost. So once it gets to 5 cost, you're doing 5 cost damage, and then 6 cost damage or 1 cost damage. So you know what I mean. So at 1 cost, he's
Not
doing 1 cost
necessarily.
damage.
Depends on
Well,
what the one does. Because obviously, like if you've got one doing 1,000, you get to
I
12.
don't
So
think it.
12,000 in an area. That's gonna be quite OP for
I
12. But I suppose 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8. Then
Yeah,
maybe
you are. You
you got to
are.
think 1 plus
This
2
is
plus 3
it.
plus 4 plus 5 is a lot. So 5,
Yeah,
4,
yes.
9, 12, 30. That's 50 ability points to get to 5, 15. So maybe actually,
So
yeah,
this
that's
is
a
it.
good
Yeah,
point. Gets you
this is
thinking
it.
though. That's
So
what I mean. What you got to
yeah, this is
think.
what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what we do when we think of legacies. We think, well, what haven't we done before, and can we can we do it? So yeah, doing a 1 cost bot would just
See, when you
great.
said one class bot, I thought like 1 plus 0.
No,
But like
no.
really low damage. So like for
Like
example,
one plus
like small
one.
screen, just like finishing things off. Just like, you know what, I've got
Yeah, just one.
Jetfire. That won't kill
Yeah,
it. But I've got Jetfire and Powerglide. Two of them will take him out. That's where I thought you'd
yeah,
go.
yeah,
But
yeah. You're thinking like, okay, I'm
we've
gonna
got
take.
no spam bots. There's very few spam bots in this
But
game.
yeah,
Like for
that's it
really low cost, and
exactly.
that's where I sort of see drift. Not
Yeah,
drift. Dust up. Dust up is
yeah.
pretty awful. But
Just
if it was
something.
one, I'd be like, okay, one
Yeah,
cost isn't
just
too bad.
something cheap where you're like, actually, I'm gonna take Cyclonus because I know everybody else is gonna do a lot of damage. and he's just cheap, who's going to be like, I need something to die now, and it's low HP,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to chuck them low ability points on him. And I think people have probably got a spot in their team for someone who's just like cleanup crew. In a way, so lots of things need to happen for that. Need to just keep testing, keep trying the numbers. But the original design was not 1+0, we're talking 1+1, so the price does increase. And then I think my idea was the bombs as well, because I quite like the design of him having 20 bombs, but with it being 1+1, he gets an extra bomb every time the ability. So if it's 1, you get 1 bomb. 1+1, the ability costed 2, so he's got 2 bombs, and then 3 bombs, and then 4 bombs. But that also makes it harder to balance, because all the bombs are doing all the same damage. So, the more bombs you add into the equation, the lower the damage is actually going to be, because when you're at 1, you are technically overcomplicating it, because you're like, well, when he gets to 5, he's going to have 5 bombs that I need to compensate for, so I need to compensate for it early. So those are the kind of things you're thinking about when you're designing things. I'm not a designer. Maybe I'm completely wrong, by the way. I'm not trained to be a designer. I just enjoy games, and that's how I think about it. So lots to think about.
I think the main critic for me at the
I like the
minute
idea.
is don't overcomplicate it. That's what we tend to
Yeah,
do with some bots. I give it
I
this
like.
and that and this and that and
Yeah,
that, and
I mean,
just make it do one thing really well and then go from there.
well, he can do one thing really well. If he
Oh
drops
no, I'm
one,
not saying anything. I'm just saying
yeah.
generally.
I mean, wouldn't it
Generally
be
just give it too
cool?
much.
Somebody growing in the battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also another bot design that I kind of want to do, is somebody who, is in the battle, but every 10 seconds he's just getting stronger and stronger. But this is just like
It's something
this
new
is
again. Like I'm all
this is
for something we
something
haven't got in the game. It's something
this
different.
is
You know.
something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got quite a few designs that I would like to do on the side, which are honestly quite exciting. But the Cyclonus one is also just trying to stick to lore, because he's actually quite, if you give him 1+1, it kind of doesn't really relate in lore, because in lore he's very strong in lore.
Yeah.
But
He's on par with Ultra Magnus sort of thing. So
yeah, so then you've got to think, well, would people be happy with Cyclonus being some sort of cleanup crew when this dude? This is why I kind of thought the scaling of him getting an additional bomb per ability point, because this dude is not weak. This guy's strong by law.
But then on the flip side of that, you got Powerglide. He's
Yeah.
considered absolute wuss.
which is hilarious, because the first time I picked these up is I didn't know much about Cyclonus, I'll be honest with you. And the first G1, because obviously every time I do these bots, I read all the lore, I read any of the comics, and I also watch the YouTube shorts as well. So
Cool,
for
yeah.
Powerglide, I watched the video of him getting a girlfriend. I don't
The
know
girl
if
who
you've
loved
seen that one.
Powerglide. Yes,
The
it's
girl-
one on episode, one of the worst episodes we've actually done. It's awful.
the
It's
girl.
really awful.
So you can imagine me watching. I was like, I've got nothing to work with here. I've got nothing to work with here. Like, what do we do? Do we design a bot, right, that has 2 abilities, can spawn a human,
Drops
and
a love
then
heart on the battlefield.
drops a love
Oh,
heart, or
God.
drops a love heart on a building? If once we could bring Melody back, maybe
Oh, God, no.
on the battlefield. If Melody dies,
Oh,
then
no.
it's complete bonkers. And then I watched Cyclonus, and I was like, wow, if we're gonna do anything, it's gonna be around Cyclonus. I don't even care about the Autobot side at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we could just say sorry to anyone who likes Powerglide.
No one
The
likes
design's
Powerglide.
not the design is not going to be based on Powerglide. I can tell you that much. So we're going to Cyclonus heavily on this one.
Yeah, good.
But that's why we wanted the low cost. But then, does it make sense for Cyclonus? He's a very strong bot.
I think you're overthinking that. I just think making good. Making good, people will be happy.
Yeah, but
You make him awful, then people will be like, it's not justified, like you said. He's a really good bot in the law, but he's got
You've
rubbish
gotta get-
ability. So I think just make the ability good. I don't think you need to overthink it really in that sense.
it would just be cool to do the 1 cost. I think it would be cool to try and get the 1 cost out there. It's exciting, yeah. We'll see,
Okay.
because then kind of got to see, like, for example, SG Jetfire. I think he does the most damage of all the air classes at the minute. Please tell me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
quite easy. You know, how much damage does he do per ability point?
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it's easy to balance when there's one, but then obviously when you're bringing more components, and it's going to be a little bit harder. So these are the things I'm thinking about. Hopefully get something out by the time So I'm going to London next week. Then I'm on holiday for a week because I've not had a holiday since January.
Wow.
I know. So kind of need to go away for a week, I think, and just chill. And then when I come back, I'm going to be full Cyclonus because there is this idea in my head that I would love to do 2 legacy bots by the end of the year. But I'm not just going to do them just to say I did it. If we do, I think we can do Cyclonus in about a month or something. If we get to November, maybe we might start another project on somebody else. We'll see. And if it doesn't go out by the end of the year, who cares? It'll be January. But
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
imagine before Christmas we'll get something in the bank ready for after Christmas, I think, because of the break.
Yeah,
So
we'll see what happens. I don't even know who the next one's going to be, if I'm honest. There's quite a lot of bots in there. I would love to do another. I just love doing warriors, to be honest.
I'll give you a
I've done
list.
well. I've done quite a few warriors now, and I'm starting to be like, look, if
I
they ever
think
if they ever decide to do a warrior endurance, I so want to do it.
uh,
That's
in terms of legacies, I don't think you can look further than Victorian. Those bots,
no, there is
gun
Viper.
bots.
Viper needs to be on there. I need to do Viper.
Ah, but that's a problem, though, isn't it? There's no Autobot alternative for Viper.
Stormflash, isn't it?
Yeah,
Stormflash
but they're
and
totally
Viper.
different though. They're both different completely.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because one does acid, one does fire.
No, I even think the abilities are different. Even I'm pretty sure.
Are they?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
that
pretty.
makes it even cool. That makes it even better then, because it's just a full. It's definitely a full-on rework. So, yeah,
Yeah,
probably
but the
they'll
thing
be the
is, though,
next
I
ones.
think Viper wants a rework, but Stormclash doesn't need a rework. That's the difference.
Really?
Stormclash is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, so it's only a 4-star version though. I think five. I think
I
Stormclash does the highest damage after SG Jetfire.
Stormflash. Maybe I need to see if we can do the ability
So
for Viper. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. If people like the Stormclash ability, then we can just look and see why Viper's not using it.
okay,
Because Viper is one of those 2016 bots
yeah,
where back then the team decided to, back then in the early days of the game, the team were like, let's do different abilities for different
yeah,
things.
and everyone kicked off and everyone complained about it. I remember it well, and everyone was like, well, "I want that bot and I want that. Why is he better than this?" They're like, "We can't do
Yeah,
this. We can't do this. Let's change tact. Let's make them
yeah,
identical."
exactly. Yeah, could you imagine now if that was still the case? That'd be
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
right?
it was back
Like, it
then.
would be like
They got
somebody would.
crucified for it.
Yeah, I mean, you would be saying to people you really need pipes, but on the Decepticon side, I don't know who you really need.
Yeah,
Your pipes is not our pipes, and then
yeah, it
the
was
cons
mad.
would. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, we'll look at parity on that, but I'm just excited to do Cyclonus. That'll be pretty cool.